All right, it is 5:30, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. I know everybody's time is valuable here, so I don't want to keep you guys waiting. All of you guys should know by now, I'm Keaton Jones. I'm the manager of officiating technology here at the OHSAA. You guys also know is this me? Oh no, we're good. Okay. You guys also know DragonFly very well, and if you don't, then you will by the end of this meeting. This is Brandon Wallace, DragonFly. He's going to introduce you guys himself and his team, and he's going to be leading this meeting, this training. Please know that this is an informal training. Any questions that you guys have throughout the meeting, please just raise your hand, speak up, whatever. We'll be paying attention, calling on you guys. Anybody virtually, please use the Q&A feature. I will be monitoring that throughout the meeting, and whenever you ask a question, I will be sure that it gets answered. All right, Brandon.
You want to speak for Amanda?
No, you guys all know Amanda, Harding from my staff, Charles Anderson. Where are you hiding, Charles?
Like the back room.
Okay. We really appreciate you coming in tonight, and the people online. Just this is your time. Ask questions. This is a group of people that have been wonderful to us and attending to our needs. So questions, and remember, it's a process. It won't be perfect out of the gate, but it will be good, and we'll only get better as you tell us what you need.
Brent, before I introduce my team, I want to reiterate what Bo just said. So, I see some familiar faces, and as we've gone through, get prepared for this meeting, seeing, familiar names that I've spoken with, either online or through demos or through some of these meetings. So, one, thank you for your patience over the last year. Hard to believe it's been a year. But we're appreciative of it. Hopefully you've seen progress in the system if you utilize other portions of it. That's the promise that we made when we came into Ohio. Say what Bo just said. It will not be perfect from day one. It will never be perfect. And we will continue to listen to feedback and make updates and changes. And one of the things that Keith and I have talked about extensively and that we'll cover today is there are things that we put in place today that we already know we're going to change. So we'll probably have another one of these meetings winter time. Secretaries for the springtime secretaries, because there are processes that we know already they're going to change, but hey, we're getting stuff in to allow you to get your job done. And so Keaton already said it. Let's make this informal. We're appreciative of the time that you're giving us and your willingness to learn. So thank you for having us here. Thank you for letting us continue to take your feedback and build the system, because we can't get better without you. And in that vein, some of the folks that you will be communicating with on the DragonFly team, this is Amy Fitzpatrick. And after working here for about a year, we decided we needed to pick up someone from Ohio that didn't sound like me, that sounded a little more like you guys in this room. So this is Eamon. He's out of the Cleveland area. Eamon, if you want to say anything.
I just been with the team here for 90 days, still learning, but looking forward to working with all of you guys, and we can translate a little northern, southern here. So
run all the translation stuff through Eamon or through the OHSAA. Office begins. We've continued to grow and do more, and the expectations for us, we're thankful again as the expectations have been placed upon us to grow more. We continue to add to our team, and so we've added Jeff Seegers to our team. Unfortunately, he's not an Ohio guy; he's another Alabama guy, but he's been a coach. He's been an athletic director. He has worked in the Alabama High School Athletic Association office, and recently just retired for the 5th time from somewhere else. And he's back at work with us as of last week. And so these are two individuals that, this group will spend a lot of time with. One of the first things that I'm going to show you is, okay, but coming out of here, we're going to cover a lot of ground. It's a lot of stuff. It's a new system. Things are going to change, even things that we cover today. We'll have a meeting with Keaton next week, and from your feedback, he may say, hey, make this change here, make this tweak. So things that we talk about tonight will continue to change, meaning it's on us to make sure that you get the support that you need. Myself, these two individuals, the rest of the DragonFly team, and then some of the other resources that I'm going to show you here in just one second are places that coming out of tonight, we don't expect you to be experts. Again, we're going to continue to change things, but you need to know where you can go to get some extra help, because it's a new process, again, a new system. If you haven't heard me say it again or say it yet, I'm going to say it again. We are thankful for you guys being here and being willing to learn. a new system and a new process. Before I launch, again, I'll say, raise your hand, interrupt. If it's something you don't want to ask in front of the group, I know both of these guys are still relatively new, but Jeff's worked with the system as an athletic director and as a member of the HSAA. Eamon's been with us for for about 3 months now. So call them over if you don't want to ask in front of the whole group. If it's something you think might be unique to your association, call them over. We're happy to help one-on-one as well. Bo, did you have something to add? Are you taking attendance? Okay. All right. So if you are completely unfamiliar with the system, your head's probably going to spin. But if that's the case, DragonFlyMax.com is where you will start. That's where you'll log in. And maybe most importantly, that's where you'll go if you need additional help. That's where you will begin. At DragonFlyMax.com, under the support tab, you'll have multiple opportunities and places to go to get extra help. One of those is the help articles. And this is a keyword search. So, let's say one of your members comes to you and asks you a question about eligibility. And all you know is they ask a question about eligibility. Well, this is a keyword search that you can come here and search through. Well, I'm trying to figure out what are they even talking about on eligibility. So use this keyword search for, maybe it's a question about a game schedule. I know many of you serve not only as the secretaries and admins in your local association, you may also be an assigner. I think most of you either are or have been an official. The folks are going to come to you, the group in this room, I understand, for extra help. So if you want to learn the system, if you want to be able to help your officials that come to you, utilize this help center, keyword search. Again, we're going to give you ways to get to us directly, but we've got a ton of articles. Many of these, again, I'm just going to click on this top one here. They've got videos, GIFs, step-by-step instructions of how to do different things. Again, this is just an example of how to print the game schedule out. Yes, sir.
We the only ones that have access to that, they have them on their DragonFly, the official.
Your official, they have the ability to print their own schedule. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Questions? Again, before I'm going to keep showing you other help resources. Questions on how to utilize this keyword help center with the articles and the videos and the step-by-step instructions. Again, you can copy that URL, send it out. I'm going to show you in a mass email how to mass email everyone on your roster in your local association. If you get a question, you got it 5 or 6 times and you're thinking, hey, I've got probably 80 folks that need this same information. I'm just going to blast it out to them to make sure they've got it in their inbox and in their DragonFly app. Copy that URL at the top, drop it into the email communication and the messaging communication platform that I'm going to show you in just a second. Send it out to all your officials. DragonFly Academy is not quite as interactive as the previous screen. It's not a keyword search, but these are these are kind of recorded tutorials and written instructions that are organized. It's not necessarily a keyword search, but again, from an official standpoint, if they need help with registration or joining your group, obviously you guys don't take exams through our system here, but some of the questions that you might get from your officials. Again, go back, DragonFly Academy. So I went to support, DragonFly Academy, and then you choose your user role. So I'm going to go into officials right now, again, for the sake of this example. They can get help with the registration process if they need it. Just like those videos that we were in the articles we were talking about a second ago. Here's again how you can watch a video of how to create your account. Here's where you can print instructions on how to create your account. This might be another thing that you guys just proactively want to test out the messaging feature in a little while and say, hey, just checking this out. But if you need help with registration, here's an article to help you with that. Here's a video to help you with that. Again, I'm in support. That's DragonFly Academy. So we've been through the help articles. We've been through DragonFly Academy. There is the contact support form. So this is, you are going to fill out a form. I would advise the folks in this room not to utilize the fill out a form, because once you log in, you're going to have a chat button in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen where you can chat directly with myself, with Eamon, with Jeff, with a member of our support team. Again, you guys being the admins in the LOAs, you're going to have this ability to chat with us directly. This is also from here. If you take a look,
you'll be able to schedule a demo, watch a webinar, search for help using that help article. So this is kind of a, hey, if you don't remember anything else about how to get additional help here, just remember to come to the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. It's got the red button there. You'll be able to launch, again, signing up for a one-on-one demo with a member of the DragonFly team. That's where we can share our screen. You can share yours, help you walk through the different portions of the software. But that's a place where, again, it's not a recorded demo. It's similar to this or similar to the ones that are watching online. Right now, you'll have a DragonFly team member on the other end. You'll ask your specific questions. We will pull up your account, your organization. We will answer your specific questions. It's not a general webinar where you're just listening to someone drone on for 2 hours. You get to go in and ask your questions and get back out. Again, that can be linked through here as well on the Help Center. Again, bottom left-hand corner of the screen. And finally, another place that as I just talked about, schedule a web meeting. What's that? Go ahead.
One thing on the chat, what are your general hours for that?
Business Central Time business hours for the most part. Now we do have.
Around would be yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, if it's after 5 p.m. Central Time, it's not a 24/7 support center. But we'll get you, first thing in the morning when we come in, we'll get to you. Now we'll say we do have kind of a ranking pecking order. That, this group will be in the higher order because you're an administrator within, that's attached to the state association. So that's going to have you're going to have those of you that are attached to the state association will be kind of top level. Obviously, you're going to be beneath Keaton or Bo or some of those folks. So if you've got a real emergency, I'd recommend come to them because Keaton's going to be able to call me at 9 p.m. if he needs, if you've got an emergency after hours. He'll be able to get to me if needed. But it kind of trickles down. So you are going into a help support center with everybody in our universe. But we do have, hey, here are the buckets that have priority order. And of course, you guys being administrators with the state association, it kind of moves you to the top of that pecking order.
Brandon, I got a question.
Yep.
Staying on support, Bill Andrews asked this. Will there be live on phone support in the future? Is that something on your guys' radar?
Maybe. I've had to tell this story, unfortunately, for the OHSAA staff, earplugs if you don't want to listen to my spiel on this. So you got the folks that are sitting in this room. We started in the beginning, we had live phone support. I know what that means to you guys, but let me tell you why we quit with the phone support. Because you're going to have a lot of questions tonight and over the next month, and then you're going to have no more questions. Or you're going to have very infrequent questions. We can't pay staff members to sit around in October not answering questions, not doing anything, to just sit there and do nothing. So what we've seen is, well, we did it for a little while and then we had to let people go. And then we tried to go with the, hey, we know we're going to have a really big spike in August, another big one in October when we get toward winter sports, another big one in January when we get to spring sports. And it's not fun to have to lay people off and say, we don't have anything for you to do. So not that we think that the online chat and the webinars and those types of things are perfect. It's the best thing that we've been able to figure out so far. So we're open to suggestions. Best thing we've been able to figure out so far so that we can match our employees to the demand of when we see the support needs. And that's why we ask, hey, you can get live support if you want it, but please go look at the webinars and decide, hey, can I be there Tuesday at 4 p.m. rather than just a 24/7 on demand. So,
Brandon.
Yeah,
And
go ahead.
he said something that, because when I was in the state office, we had our district manager. If it was an emergency, a coach or somebody, or Ken Washington, who's in charge of the officials in Alabama, he could pick up the phone and make contact with that district manager, with that state manager very easily. But, it's not something we wanted to do every day because we knew they had those things to do. But if it was an emergency, somebody from the state office could get us very quickly.
So you guys, again, you'll have that same, hopefully there are not any emergencies. I can't predict the future, so maybe there will be, but you're going to have the contact information to get to us. But, fair question, not one that, we take lightly. We understand that you guys, well, some of you, maybe all of you, most of you might be working a full-time job. And so you can't exactly reach out to somebody at 10 a.m. You're working at 9 p.m. when you've got the time to do it. We understand that. We will accommodate that, obviously as we can. But there's my heartfelt spiel on why do we not have 24/7 on-demand support? That's why, is because it's hard to predict the demand, and I don't like having to let people go after hiring them and then 3 months later having to tell them we got nothing for you to do. So piggybacking on that, we go back in case you lost where I was here. So we're under the support tab, schedule a web meeting. You'll see here, this is kind of broken down by that your user role, again, just like the Dragonfly Academy was, like some of the other articles were. I would advise for this group, obviously some of you are assigners. Again, I recognize some faces in the room, so you go through the assigners. But if you just have a specific, hey, I need 5 minutes of someone's time, I'd recommend for this group to sign up for the Ask Me Anything web meetings. What that looks like once you click that is, I hope that's on the Calendly side. Yeah. One of you ask about that, make sure that's. So what you're supposed to be able to do here is it's supposed to pull up a calendar. It's going to have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it's going to have all the different meetings that we're offering throughout the day where you select your date, your time, you sign up and say, hey, I want to meet with someone at this time about this thing. So that way, again, you're getting the one-on-one support, but it allows us, again, to understand and smooth out that demand a little bit more and just know, hey, we're going to have 5 demos today, which are basically the 5 live conversations where we share our screens. But those are the places that we advise for you guys to go. If you just, hey, I'm not getting it in the help articles, it's not making any sense. I've contacted Keaton. My account seems to have something going on with it. I need to talk with someone, or I don't remember how to do this, or hey, here's a suggestion that we'd like to give you guys over how we think you can improve this, that, or the other. But that's in the, schedule a demo, support, schedule a web meeting. And then, as I said, I advise that the folks in this room select the Ask Me Anything option. Yes, sir.
Suggestions be going through there.
It depends on what it is. I would say now, he may tell you something different. So we work for these guys and he may begin saying, hey, come to me, but then you flood him with questions and he says, nope, go to them. So understand that he's the boss here. But I would say if it's a general question, you can email one of us, maybe copy Keaton, because he knows the system pretty well at this point. If it is suggestions and things like that, well, we need to be copied on that. He will pass it along to us for sure. But it just it's context dependent on if there's something that you need someone to show you on your screen, come through the demo, sign up with us because we're going to be able to share our screen.
Well, I was talking more about the suggestions of things, we'd like to see change, things that would be that.
Yeah, so come to him on those because, he's getting a lot of those and they're trying the best that they can to kind of rank and prioritize those when they come in. If you got, again, just general, how do I do this? How do I do that? I mean, he knows the answer, but he's got other things going on. This is what we do full time. So maybe copy him on it because he may say, hey, that's the 3rd one I've seen of those today. Maybe there's something else going on. Maybe we need to do something different there. But how-tos come to us. If there's suggestions, come to him. Other questions before we actually move into the software itself? This one? Yeah. So that is, it can cover a lot of different things depending on what your state or your particular user role is using for the system. Blanket statement is we've got a full financial fabric that runs through where you can pay invoices. If you're paying your registration fees, if you're paying officials and game workers, if the state association is disseminating revenue splits for the playoffs back, there's a full financial fabric that if you're the bookkeeper, if you are, I'm assuming each one of you has a treasurer of your association. If you end up coming through our system to collect those, which we're going to talk about, if you collect your local association fees and you want help with how do I do that? How do I connect a bank account? What are the fees? What does this look like? How do I get it set up? And again, you want one of those one-on-one webinars, that's what the financial section is for. If you end up coming through the Ask Me Anything, and then we end up talking about different financial things, you'll probably get routed back to that financial webinar because that's, with folks at our company that specialize in the financial piece of that. So they can talk with bookkeepers and accountants and CFOs and things of that nature. That makes sense? Other questions before we move on? All right. Again, back at dragonflymax.com, log in, sign up. After you've signed up, well, let me stop right here. Is there anyone here that has not signed up and gotten your account just yet? You know how to do that. Okay, so as long as we don't need help, if you do end up needing help, you don't know how, you've gotten stuck, you're not getting the verification code, it's probably in spam somewhere. These guys can come and help you at your table if you'd rather not do that, allowed in the room. If you have not already created your account, don't leave here tonight without creating your account, just in case you do run into something where you need any help. All of you at this point, so they, and I don't mind saying again, OHSAA asked us to have all rosters for all local associations set up before tonight. We got close. If this is the fall sports or the winter sports, you're all done. The only local associations, if you're a baseball secretary, that's the ones that we're still working through tonight as we speak. So I hope that by tomorrow we have them all finished. We got really close, but I'll say all that to, hey, again, if you haven't gotten your account, if you haven't got it created, we want to be able to check and make sure that your permissions are correct, that you can see your association, and all the columns, things that we go through tonight are actually enabled. Your account's got the right permissions and you're set up and ready to go. So as much as you possibly can, if you got a computer, follow along with me tonight so that we can either see, hey, this is how you do it, or we need to change your permissions. We need to make sure we get you into the right association. For some of you, I noticed as I was going through and connecting you, you're obviously a secretary of multiple associations. Let's make sure that, okay, one is working, but we get you connected to the other three that you're the secretary or the admin over. So let's make sure we get all the account stuff squared away tonight before you leave here, if you've got the time to do so. When you log in, you're going to land on the Today page. There's going to be a lot of stuff here as we move forward. We're going to, be posting the state clinics here so you can get to it. But you guys, again, are going to get questions on, well, I need to go back and take my rules clinic. How do I do that? For your local online clinics, how do I get to that? All of you and your officials are going to log in and have the complete or revisit registration instructions right here on the Today page. I'm going to show you multiple ways to get there. The easiest way, because you're going to land here on this page every single time you log in, every single time your officials log in, you're going to land here on this Today page. This is going to be the easiest way to get to, do I have anything to do? Log in on the Today page, hit the complete your registration button. If you're already at 100% for now, it might say revisit your registration. I forget what the exact terminology is. But once you get to 100%, you'll see that it'll be green here. Your officials will see that it'll be green here. But remember, we've got state rules clinics that are going live. You guys are going to have your local rules clinics and your meetings that are going to be required moving forward. So this might, it's a little bit different because the way you guys work a year in advance. But as new requirements are added, as seasons move forward, when registration opens next year, you'll see the academic year, you'll see which association you're under. So if you guys end up having local association requirements that are different from the state association requirements, your official, once they join, will be a member of OHSAA and see that here. And under that will be all of the local associations that they are a member of, or that you're a member of, and any requirements that you have left to cover from that perspective. So easiest way to get to, do I have anything to do? Today page, over on the right-hand side, go to the correct association and select, complete my registration, revisit my registration. It'll have each of them listed down the right-hand side. Questions on that? Once the state rules clinics go live, once the local clinics go live, when you click that registration button, it's going to be added to the list. Now, again, I've got a lot of stuff here from testing and being a member of different sports, but you're going to see at the very top, you and all of your officials. So another thing that you're going to be able to do as an admin of your local association, someone calls you and says, hey, am I done? Tell them to check on their screen, number one. But number two, you'll be able to go to each of your officials' profiles, click on their name, and see this same registration step-by-step guideline. On the top, on what's done, if they've completed that requirement, it's in green. If there's still something left to do, it's in red. You can see across the top, I'm done with 4 of the 17 requirements that I need for registration. Some are done, some are not started, some are started but not yet finished. And of course, if you got any dues or fees to pay, and as we continue to go, you're going to see for each of your associations where you are in that registration process. As I mentioned, you guys are going to have the ability to see each of your officials and where they stand with each of their registrations for the OHSAA, as well as what they require to do for you. What that means is when the local meetings and clinics go live for your association fees, those types of things, that will show up here when we turn those things on. You stop there for questions about anything that I just covered, how to get there, today page, what you can see, what you can't, what's done, what's not, red, green, yellow, any questions on any of that?
We can't bring up
Got it.
our officials in our association yet, right?
You should be able to. Are you a baseball LOA?
Well, basketball.
Basketball? So you should be able to do that already. Yes.
Sure that that's.
Yeah, I'm gonna move to that portion in just a second. If when I get there though, you don't see what I see,
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. Flag these folks down. Let's start checking permissions, making sure you got, that we got the right folks in there. I know some of you have had admin changes.
You did say this, like the state meetings put up next week. Just go to revisit and it'll pop up and then you take it. That's what we tell the association members.
Yes, sir.
That's what it was. Make sure.
We'll send out a memo
Yeah.
as well to all of the
Yeah.
officials.
But you guys are still gonna get questions. So that's what you need to tell them is to go to revisit your registration. That one's for Keaton. That's when you put Keaton on. Let him answer that one. And if they keep bothering you, send it to Bo and then they'll get an answer they don't like. So go ahead.
Any of this be available on the phone app? Yeah.
Which portion of it? But so everything that I've covered right now,
Accessing association data.
no, it will not. But it is available through the web browser on your phone. So, and that's, that's maybe for some of you, like, yeah, well, what's the difference? Well, there's a mobile app that is the Center for Official Services that has, the things that make sense that you can quickly and easily do through a phone app. See your assignments, accept your assignments, withdraw your money. There's a couple of functionalities there, see your messages, things like that. But what we can't do through at least not easily, what we haven't done yet, because it takes some time, is put together like a huge grid view of thousands of columns of data of information through the phone app. But you can do it through the web browser on many of these items. Go.
Officials will not receive automatic emails once state rules meetings are uploaded to your registration, but they will still receive an email. It just won't be automatic. If something else is added to a registration, it's not immediate. It will still be sent by us, but for state rules meetings specifically, we usually are pretty diligent in sending it out the day that it's available. Also, for those who have asked how you're able to see the referees in your associations, I believe Brandon is about to cover that.
If this room is ready for it, that's what I'll go to next, because I'm assuming that's what everybody wants to see. All right. So again, I'm intentionally going back to the today page because I want you guys to all have kind of an anchor point, a reference point for everything that I'm doing. I'm back on the today page to see your roster of officials. You're going to have organizations and people on the left-hand side. Click on that button. And depending on what all user roles you have, how many associations you're a part of, you may have to use these filters across the top to change academic years as we move forward. If you want to go back and look at historical records, if you've got multiple sports that you need to work through, if you've got multiple user roles because you're an assigner and a secretary, obviously as you're an official. So if you log in here right now and it says there's no one in the list, before you call us over to your computer. Make sure that this is the people tab across the top is set to officials. If it's set to athletes or parents or coaches or anything like that, well, you don't have any athletes or parents or coaches in your officiating association. So make sure the people, select officials. And then under eligibility, again, make sure you selected official eligibility. You don't have athletes, you don't have coaches, you don't have any of those. Actually, some of you might. There are assigners that do also have, I don't know if there's any secretaries that are necessarily athletic directors. But if you're looking at this and you're like, well, what happened? Yesterday I had access, now I don't see any of my roster. Be sure that you're set to the correct sport, the correct year. You have officials and official eligibility.
Got a question, Brandon.
Yep.
Can officials be set as a default? That's like when you open up the association, can that be defaulted to officials instead of having to switch to
Let me
athletes?
repeat the question here. Okay. So the question was, can it be set to officials as a default? I think it already does that once you set it the first time. So as you see here, every time I'm going to organizations and people, I'm going back to officials. So I think it's already that way. Let us know for some of you if it's not.
Sometimes it goes back.
Okay.
Doesn't.
Potentially a bug. I'll just need to look into that.
Can you explain to the secretaries where, if their name isn't on the officials list, where they can find them to make sure that they're in the association?
I don't know that I understand that.
They just, when it's officials, they pop up in like the everyone tab because they're just.
Okay. So Keaton's, let me kind of go through how we got here. So Keaton's saying, hey, what if I know that there's someone that is a member, they can see it on their screen. It says they're a part of my association, but I don't see them. You can search through because maybe they were supposed to get to you as an official. Again, for any of the historical rosters, we should have already loaded those for you. If you don't see someone, you can change this people tab to everyone. And then you can search them by name because maybe they tried to join your association and they signed up as an assigner. Or they signed up as an administrator, which you don't want to approve them in as an administrator. You want them in as an official. So, Keaton's question there was, what if I can't find someone, but I know that they're there? So I can now switch to everybody in the people, type in their name, and then, if they're in fact a member of your organization, they'll pop up here and then you'll be able to see them, but that maybe they got in as something other than an official. And almost all of those circumstances, because the system is new to you and there are permissions and, blah, 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 let our support chat help you because we can very quickly go in and say, oh yeah, Keaton signed up as an admin. They need to be an official. We can help you get that spot down.
I'm missing.
Okay. No, it's not normal, but probably what that means is we put you in as an administrator and you've got it set to officials. You're not an official in your local association. So that question might affect many of you. I hear that has created a lot of chatter, so
I haven't seen an issue.
if I can get everyone's attention really quickly, if you're looking for yourself and you don't see yourself, it's probably because we put you in as administrator, not as an official. If you switch the people to everyone, you should see yourself as a member of. Now, if you also need to be an official, let's get that role added to your profile as well. Again, you let us know on that. When we put you in, we put all of you in as administrators, not as officials.
So you can be both.
You can be. Yeah.
Let you be both.
Yes.
Is that just a quick email to you guys?
No, we'll show you how to do it before we leave. You can do it yourself because you have administrative rights inside your association.
I was that way and then came and changed mine to all.
Uh-huh.
And mine
Okay.
finally popped up.
Good. Even if you want me to cover how they can all add official to themselves. No. No. They gotta be DragonFly admin and an official bonus.
And somebody else is some.
So they won't need an assigner role inside the local association. There's no basis. Yeah, he needs to be an assigner in his assignment group. Hey, hey guys, can we keep the chatter down so we can hear the questions? We're gonna hang around tonight till all your questions get answered. Please. Yeah, if we can keep the chatter down though enough that we can still hear the questions and keep moving through. So those of you that want to go home can get out of here.
When you're looking at the roster, for example, there, as I am.
Right.
There are people in red that are marked late renewals who have not yet renewed. Is that's correct there? If they're in multiple sports, like I have fall and spring sports.
Right.
If the person is a spring sport person also and has not renewed those, but did do football, for example, will the football box be checked, but they'll still be red because they haven't renewed everything yet?
So I'm going to answer that in two different ways. Make sure when, again, on the sports that you, rather than having all sports, you have, so I'm going to use football because that's the one that I've got pulled up here. So once I filter to football, I'm only going to see football specific items. When I'm on all sports, I'll see all sports. So make sure you've got that filtered at first. Now, one of the things I will also say is these things will disappear very soon because they will no longer be relevant any longer to anybody because the late renewal window is about to close. So once that stuff is no longer relevant, we'll get rid of it, meaning you won't see those extra columns. But in general, if you see someone, if you're filtered to football, you see someone in red, that means, hey, they're missing one of their state requirements or more. If they're in black, that lets you know they're good to go. Now, again, as we add additional requirements, on the first day that we go in and add the state rules clinic and make it a requirement, this is for the sake of example, we're not actually gonna do it because it's for next year. But if we go in and you guys say, hey, I'm gonna add my local association fee as something that they have to do, they have to pay online so I can see who's done it. When you add that as a requirement, all the names that were black will turn red because now they've got something to do that they have not yet done.
So the follow-up, when the renewals are no longer an option. And the person, for example, on your screen will assume that Philip did not pay his dues yet. Or his state association fees. When that time period goes away, is his name going to disappear because he did not renew? Or
no,
he'll still be there, just in red?
He'll still be in your roster. If so, again, I'm going to let you guys guide on how deep you want to go into the system tonight. If you want folks off your roster, I can show you how to remove folks off your roster. And I can do that now if the group wants me to do that. So I'm going to be very sensitive not to go so far down the rabbit hole in some of these questions that some of you are going, what the hell are you talking about? I'm lost. But I want to make sure everybody gets what they need.
So I guess piggyback to that question, going back to the original, you got the members down in your association, even in your district. Can we just remove them or do we have to send an email to have them removed?
So that's two questions. If I get a third vote of support for showing it, I'm going to show it right now. Bo just gave the third vote of support. So I'm not going to actually remove Philip here because Philip's probably a decent human being, but I'm going to show you how to do it. Let's say we wanted Philip out of this, Midwest Buckeye Football Officials Association. Click on the name. That's going to take you into the profile. As I mentioned a minute ago, as admins, you have access to all of your officials' profiles to see what they're a part of, whether they've done their, all of their requirements, so on and so forth. You will not now, I'm an admin over OHSAA, so I see absolutely everything. You'll only see what you have the ability to see here. So let me go all the way down to Midwest Buckeye. So you find your association. Click on those three buttons, right, or three dots. That's the actions button. And then you'll see several options there. You can change the sports, you can change the roles, or we can remove Philip completely from this association. Let me recap those steps. Go back to the roster. You've got someone you want to remove from your association. Click on their profile name. Go to the association, find the associations you'd like to remove them from. Click on the actions button and remove from that association. There is, I don't know if we have given you guys permissions to do that. I need to check on that again, just based on the user roles that we've given you. You do have, so if you multi-select beside names that you want to remove, from this screen, you'll see another actions button. Bulk team actions. From there, add members, move members out, remove the members, connect to another organization. So you got, if you wanted to bulk remove people, select them, go to actions, bulk team actions, and remove them. Have you done that? Can you tell me if we've got you with the right person? Got it? Okay. Yes, sir.
On the reversal of this, how do I add a person?
You cannot add, well, you can approve people once they've requested to join. So here's another,
What I'm saying is like next season.
Right.
We have a new member who passed all the requirements and they're going to be an official.
Yes, sir.
They become on our own.
They can do that themselves. Now, let me go ahead. Yeah, so I'm sorry. The question we got here, hey, but the opposite of that. I don't want to kick people out. I want to pull people in. How do I add new members to my group? So I'm going to answer this in two separate ways. Number one is right now our system is not set up for you to send out an invite code or anything like that. They have to request to join you, which we can help them with that or from their profile. We're going to use Keaton's here. So again, they can do just what I did to get to their own profile. Click on their name, go to my info, that takes them to their profile, and then they'll go to connect to another association in the top right-hand corner. Again, we've got step-by-step instructions that we can give them, that you can give them to do that, but they'll select official. And they'll go through just selecting.
Yeah, same thing we did.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Same exact thing. Then they'll type in, the name of your association and then, join that. Now, that is today's answer on July 9th. They've asked us, so, Keaton has heard the feedback from you guys and the assigners and other folks saying, hey, that's too cumbersome. We need an easier way to send out an invite code. We've heard that. We have slated for the fall the ability for you to just say, I'm going to send this invite code from my group to this email address or this group of email addresses. I don't have an exact date on that, but sometime in the fall is when we will be adding that process for
This time next year it'll be there.
Yes, before next year. Definitely by this time next year. We're hoping sometime, September, October timeframe. That's what we're hoping.
Do we have a quick tutorial on that for particularly those new people? Because one of the things our association's done is, as our district secretary has given us few names, we've just been adding them into our groups so they get emails and get information. So what I like to do is send them, hey, we want you to join. It's going to be free. Here are the steps.
Yep. So Jeff or Eamon, if one of you will write down, we'll get to Keaton step-by-step instructions for you to send to everyone to say, hey, if you want to join our group, here's how you do it. So, you'll be able to just send that out. Yes,
This
sir.
question may, but in June, kind of gave us a deadline of soft deadline and then a hard deadline. You reemphasize those dates
For what?
or renewals. or
For
official.
renewals, yes. So obviously, if any of you guys fail to, follow the regular fee, window for the fall, we've been very lenient on, waiving the late fee. I don't have a set date. It's still kind of soft back there, depending on the traffic that I get of people, still finding out that renewals are on DragonFly and all that stuff. Hard deadline, we will not go past the end of July. July will be the only month for fall renewals.
So
that-
we can live with July 31st as the hard deadline.
Yeah, you can look at that.
Back to the filtering.
That didn't work.
What did work?
Oh,
Bulk removing? Did you get an error message?
No, so that's it. It takes me back to the previous screen. As if I didn't confirm it and save it. So you confirm. and-
Did you type the numbers in? Did you type the numbers in when it asked you to confirm?
There was no numbers.
Okay, we'll come. I'll get one of them to come look at it just a second.
Okay.
So, you have,
Back to the sports filtering.
yes, sir.
With baseball and softball being obviously two different sports, can we filter them together? Or do they, if we're wanting to look at, are we gonna have to go back, jump back to one?
Yeah, well, because you're gonna wanna, if you're looking at, because you're gonna want softball meetings to attendance to be separate from baseball meeting attendance, right?
Well, no, I'm just talking about association itself, you know, because it's one association.
Got it. If you have, so you have, some are separated into only softball, some baseball. Notice that when I was setting it up. If your association is combined, you're gonna see all the names combined. Now, once you filter by the sport inside the association, that'll switch to show me only the ones that are softball, show me only the ones that are baseball.
So inside the association, you can also.
Right, right. So your roster will be filled with, for those of you that have combined sports, your initial roster will be filled with both baseball and softball in this example.
Gotcha.
If you want to filter to, hey, show me only softball, so I can send a message to softball. If you want to show me only baseball, so I can look at their requirements for just for baseball. That's where you use the sport filter within, from within that particular association. Yes, sir.
I'm not getting anything they're doing here on my screen.
Okay. Good. So
It's telling me set up teams for my
yeah,
association.
you probably are not in your association as an admin just yet. So if you can't,
Yeah.
we'll make sure we got you set up before we leave here. One other thing I was going to show, again, for many of you, I know that you are an admin over multiple associations. So just like we can use the sport filter inside a particular association to kind of flip back and forth, in the top of your screen where you've got select another organization, that's where you're going to be able to come in and type in, hey, now give me to my wrestling association, give me my cross-country association, give me my volleyball association. You can come there to switch through your full organizations, and then within that organization, select the sport. Yes, sir.
It's not also. It shows me as administrator. It shows my son as a parent.
Do you have, are you switched to everyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
And if I go to softball, it shows nothing. It doesn't even show me as administrator.
Okay. There's going to be 100 of these one-off questions that we'll answer before we get out of here. If you're filtered to everyone, that is everyone, which means all of the emergency contacts that are on your profile when you put that in there. Anybody that's connected to your account, any spouses of any of your officials, that's showing you everyone. If you want to see just your officials, filter that people tab to just officials.
Possible people in my association made a change, secretary myself, 10 years ago now, got it back. I'm only missing one new official, myself and the old secretary. There's nobody else.
What sport are you?
Basketball.
The answer to that is I don't know, because we thought I've gotten a report back from my team that basketball's done. Rest assured, your full roster will be there. First thing I would check, again, make sure that you're in the correct year, correct sport.
Right.
You got officials, and you got, if all that's done and you still only have those people in there, that means your roster has not been put in yet. We will make sure that gets done.
What back the buster's going as far as years?
He knows the answer to that. What did you provide us? So the question is, how far back are the rosters going as far as years? What we're seeding for you, I think, is based off of just last year's rosters, but
So I pulled the rosters from April, early May. So your rosters are as updated as I know early May. So yes.
did everyone hear that? So we got a question over how far back are the rosters going? Keaton pulled last year's rosters out of MyOSHA to give to us to seed your rosters. So again, if you're looking at your screen, you got all your filters right, and you're certain of that, that means that either there's a permissions issue for you, which we'll take a look at, or we have somehow, like, we were manually doing it, manually moving over the rosters, make sure that it gets set up for you. So you will have all of your rosters, whatever you had last year, in there by the end of the week.
For some reason, we still have an official who, last year when we started this, if they didn't do it the right way, they ended up with 2 accounts. They still need to contact you, correct?
Yeah, because we'll want to check to make sure that all of the assignments get moved over, any of the payment stuff gets moved over. Yeah, so if you didn't hear that question, if you've got an official and they are still out there, If you got an official that either still has or has created, from some point last year has created another second, third, believe it or not, we had some officials that created 4 accounts last year. If you got an official with duplicate accounts, bring those to us because we can very quickly check to make sure that all of their assignments get moved over. Any of their payments they've got in multiple accounts gets moved over. It's just safer to allow us to do that or get it to Keaton, who will also get it to us. Cool. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because there's some people that I don't want to get completely lost, so I'm going to give just a second for them. Yes, sir. So the things that, and I'll go ahead and cover, the things that I'm still going to cover is your local fees, how you mark those off. And for those of you that want to, we'll show you how you can set them up to collect it here so it automatically gets checked off. I'll show you how to put your local meetings on the calendar so your officials will be able to pull up their calendar and see those meetings. I will also show you how to check off when it comes time for you to report your local meeting attendance. I'm going to show you how to do that. And mass email. So those are the 4 items that we still have left to cover.
It shows that I have.
We'll take a look at that in just a second. So what that likely means is other people have found your association and requested to join it. So one of the things that I will go over also before we leave here is they have had us, they being the OHSAA, set up so that nobody gets automatic access to your association. If someone wants to join, they must be approved into your association.
That's what.
Which is okay. Which is how you. That's how you end up seeing a note there that says there's 3 new people. So we'll cover that.
Yeah, I'm saying, can you provide an example at some point to show how?
Yep.
Yep. We've gotten a couple of them in the Q&A.
For those of you that are listening at home, the other staff members are kind of floating around, helping in the room, and I want to make sure that nobody gets too far lost. So
We've seen a couple of issues of people. We've got a couple that aren't showing up. When you look at your profile and it has your associations, if there's not a year next to it, the 24, 25, that means it didn't get loaded in and we need to know that.
yeah.
Okay, so we've got right now the Greater Cincinnati Basketball Association Southwest, Ohio Valley Basketball Association Southwest.
I want to say something.
Volleyball,
Yeah.
coffee.
This is your,
Yeah,
this is your
and
meeting.
South of Ohio.
This is your meeting. You take off whenever you.
He's saying that error's name, if you want to send it. But there.
Oh, yeah. So Keaton has asked, hey, if we're not seeing our this is for the people at home. If you're not seeing your rosters, send those to Brandon at Dragonfly Athletics, Eamon at Dragonfly Athletics, Jeff at Dragonfly Athletics. Eamon is spelled EAMON. Yeah, dragonflyathletics.com. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to check on some of these. Again, if you're listening in at home, we have not cut the feed. I'm waiting on some of these questions to get answered before we move forward, and somebody ends up just getting lost.
You get an email from the system saying X person is requested to join, or do we have to come in here and look periodically?
It's going to, again, if you've got it set up for officials, I'm going to try to find a place where there is a request, and I will create it here on the fly if I need to.
Just add me some.
I'll see what I can do here. Let me try.
You're gonna be rejected.
You can reject me, that's fine.
Does that mean race or something?
I'm totally
that?
good with that.
What's it work?
PORTS.
It's because you've got rules set admin. That's why I can't do either of ours. Because you're already in everything.
Yeah.
But here's what I can do. You guys will bear with me. I'm going to create a scenario here where I can show you how to approve someone when they request and what that looks like. While I'm doing that, let me go ahead and repeat again for those online and in the room. If you are not seeing your rosters and you're any sport besides baseball, let us know that before you leave here tonight so we can,
And softball. And softball.
So softball should be in already. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then we're good to roll on. Okay. So the question that was posed is, okay, someone has requested to join my association. How do I get them in? So when you've got you're going to see the new people thing over here when you log in. You're going to also see a roster that looks, you've got your full roster. The names that have not yet been approved and are not yet full members of your association will be highlighted in yellow. The ones that have been approved will be in white. To approve them, again, click on the name. I'm going to show you multiple ways to do this. And then hit, can I say something? Approve.
Again, for the people at home, if none of your association rosters is appearing, please email Brandon, Eamon, or Jeff, and the emails for them are all provided in the chat, as well as we know that baseball and softball rosters are not all fully loaded yet. So you don't have to panic quite yet.
If you were baseball and softball and you're not there by the end of the week, that means somehow we've overlooked your association. Again, we were doing that manually, loading the rosters in. So for baseball or softball, next couple of days, definitely by the end of the week is when you can panic and say, hey, something's not right.
If they are an official or an assigner, as well as the admin, how do they add themselves as an official within their association? So just changing the permissions.
So again, inside your own association, well, let me repeat the question here. Those of you that are in as an administrator, but you also need to be an official inside your association. Again, click on your name in the bottom left-hand corner. My info will take you to your account. And then again, find your association. I'm a member of a million associations out of Ohio, so I'd have to scroll for a long time. Find the association, and then in the user roles. So back up. You can either, this stack of different user roles here, you can click on any of those and pull it up, add yourself as a contest official, or again, actions button where you can remove or change roles inside there. So if you need to add yourself as an official inside your association because you are more than just an administrator, click your name in the bottom left-hand corner. Click on My Info to take yourself to your own profile. Find your association and then either click the ADM button, which will pull up all of the user roles, or again, click that Actions button, the same place where we removed folks from their profile, and you can change roles and add contest official. I think this is recorded, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is being recorded again for those of you at home. For those of you that are in person and you're going to need to go back and watch this, it'll be recorded. All of these questions are the perfect questions, though, for our online chat, where we can send you back a screenshot or a quick little video of how to do it, and you can keep those stored. Yes, sir.
So on my screen, I have new people. Okay, it's been set up now for about 3 weeks. So all those new people are actually requesting to come in, and I wasn't, I thought maybe it was a misapplication of putting them into my association. by you guys? So those are actually people that's wanting to come in, correct?
Yes, or it's a bug. So
That's why I was wondering. 'Cause I didn't know whether to
Yeah.
approve or not, because someone's not even real close to my local area.
So probably they were trying to add an assigner or another group. So, that'll be at your discretion on whether you let them in. The way,
Did you hit disapprove and it kicks them off?
and then they're gone forever once you do that, or until they request again, so they can come back and keep requesting. So yeah, if you got somebody that you don't want in, rather than approving them, reject them. And that takes them out of your roster, takes them out of the new people. It'll get them off your screen completely.
Brandon, can you go back to the Ohio Test School where I think my account is waiting to be approved?
I already approved it.
Okay, well, you can still go to that roster.
Yep.
Show them. And then can you show the secretaries here what button they would hit to see kind of their hometown, just to make sure that they're trying to join the right association and all that stuff?
So if you want, rather than going all the way into a profile, if you want quick access to information about your officials, you can see right beside every name, there's an information button. So if I click beside Keaton's name here, it's going to give me details of, from Columbus. You need to get your phone number in there. But it'll have phone number, all the different user roles. Again, I've got stuff here that you won't see because I'm an admin within the entire state, but you'll have the details here, game counts and blocks and so on and so forth. But if you want quick access to information about the official without going all the way into the profile, click the information button beside their name.
So are these?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what OHSA is using as a site for that official? If I have officials from Columbus and want to go into southeast of officials, their address would be Columbus.
Yeah.
It'll still be a part of my association. Right?
They're going to have,
If you approve them, yes.
Right. That's what I'm saying is that the address would just be
Yeah.
their.
yeah, so let me see if I can clarify the question and answer there for those that are online. So once you click the details, the location that you're seeing here is the address that official entered in for themselves. So yeah, it's not anything that the OHSAA did. This is whatever the official put in as their home address. But yeah, I mean, if there's a certain circumstance where, hey, someone works in the Southwest and they come to do games there, but technically their home address is in Columbus, no problem. That's, it's at your discretion. You typically know your officials.
And as you guys can see here on that same page, if you guys need to make a quick phone call to one of your officials, it's right there. It's right up there. If you guys need just one individual official's emails, you can still click that little information icon and get their email right there. Hit the little black button next to their email, and that's an immediate copy. You paste that over, send it out.
You can also, so I'm going to go into, I guess one of the next things to do from this roster page is show the mass communication. But let's say you needed to contact that particular official. You don't want to send it out to everyone, but you see that someone's from Columbus. You're not quite sure on, hey, did you mean to do this? So I could click on Keaton's profile, again, go to it and send a message directly to Keaton, just to Keaton there. So that's going to go to his email. It's going to go to the app on his phone, and you can say, hey, see, you're from Columbus. Did you mean to join my association? No problem if you are, but I just want to be sure before I approve you in. So let me go back through that.
And you can send those communications even with officials being there waiting to be approved.
Yes. Yeah. So again, if you got a list of 50 people that are in yellow waiting to be approved, and you know that some of those or you don't think some of those are correct in your circumstance, you can either click all of them to highlight them and send them a mass message, or you can go to each of them by clicking on their name and then send a message. And this is, again, we're going to go back through this. This is just like any other email client editor. So you've got who's sending it, who is it going to, subject line. And then you can see that Keaton's done this.
I want to send an email to my entire association.
I'll go to the mass email. This is if you need to email one individual.
I'm sorry.
You can go to their profile.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Let me go back over here to this. To whoever's at home allowing me to use the Midwest Buckeye football officials, thank you. If you clicked on Ryan individually, I can send Ryan a message. If you want to send, let's say you've got 10 new people that are awaiting and you want to confirm with each of them, I can go through and select, hey, I'm going to send to these 5 or these 10. If I need to, and then go over and hit this envelope, this email button. Now we're only going to send to the 4 selected. If I want to send a message out to my full roster, don't select anything, hit the envelope button, and then send out to everyone in your association. Now we do have, again, we've got bulk actions on here, but you have to select, like a second ago, if we're doing something to certain individuals, it's within a couple of days. Yeah. So the question is, what if I need to add an attachment? It is in test right now for us to allow you to add an attachment to the email. We still recommend that you use some sort of live digital link, because a third of your officials, when the attachment's in there, it's gonna automatically quarantine that to spam. And that's, Yahoo's going to do it, Hotmail's going to do it for sure. And there's another one I think that you guys had, like a Bell South maybe, or a Gmail is pretty good about putting it into the spam, so at least they can go there and find it. If you say, hey, make sure you check your spam. Gmail typically puts it in the spam. Yahoo and Hotmail and one other, they're gonna blacklist you, and then they're gonna stop letting any of your emails through from that point forward. And I don't know how they determined to do that, but some of them are very strict about thinking that you're a phishing scheme, and they're gonna just start blocking all the messages.
What's the copy and paste like? If I get an email that says, please let your members know ABC.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's copy and paste that.
Yeah, copy and paste that. That's no problem.
It works great. I can tell you from experience. It works awesome.
And how I got around that with sending out attachments, if you're a Google Drive person, put it up in Google Drive as a PDF, copy the link and send them the link in your email. Great. What if the envelope isn't valid? Let's do it again.
I don't know.
Oh, you gotta be under approved.
Okay.
Find that out.
So we got to be under approved people. Most of my accounts already have all the access.
Say that again, what needs to happen?
If we're the members that says like new or approved, I had to go to the approved members to be able to access the email button.
So.
Yeah.
So for those again that at home, if you don't have if you're not able to click on the envelope button, you got to be under the approved tab right here. And I didn't know that. So
I think if you go back here, it'll be highlighted.
yeah. Well, there's nobody in that list, but
Oh, okay, but I could show you on mine.
if I don't know which one of you first.
Are you recommending that, association members not communicate Yahoo or Hotmail?
I'm not recommending that. No, I'm saying we're going to release the ability for you to add attachments to your emails within a week or so. And some of them are still not going, if you add attachments to these emails, they're going to get marked as spam. Just many email clients are moving to where you gotta have the live, like a Google Docs link. I recommend that anyway, because then you don't have to send out a new attachment each time that you make an update. That's gonna continue to update, so. No, I'm not recommending anybody. I know that the crowd that we're working with, if you told them to go change their email address, they're gonna quit work. No, don't do that. Yes, sir.
This may be more for Keegan, I'm not sure, but on the information, understanding your official checks like that. When you hit the I, is there the ability to list what class they are?
I talked to somebody today about that, and I need to talk to you about that. That information's already in DragonFly. So at some point down the road, I don't see it being an issue. But so
think we can also make this column visible to you. So if you, like, this is Keaton's view. He already has their class for each of their sports.
Yeah, but if I don't want to go here, and I want to see all members and officials, but not go here, I'm also wearing 2 hats, so as an assigner, I gotta see that.
Yeah. Got it. Now you can also, from your, like on your game schedule as the signer, you can filter that list by class as well.
Say that again.
You can filter your assignment list by the class of the official, by the ranking of the official, the position. You got positions.
Who got them covered tomorrow?
Yeah.
I have the mass email thing open for some reason on your account. Wouldn't work. It's fine.
Okay.
Missed a step somewhere because my envelope is black.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to walk around. I
was able to send a message yesterday by going through and selecting all 127 people.
do not do that. Don't
So.
don't do that.
So I've got to note that there's a couple in here that are grayed out. I've made a note.
If you are looking at your screen and your envelope is grayed out, let us know. But that's a DragonFly problem, not a you problem.
Now,
That's
there-
some.
sorry, go ahead. We found a workaround, but I still got in my notes, select one person,
Get off mine.
just, select one person.
Yeah.
Now go select the envelope. Now click in the 2.
Right here?
Click the plus, I'm sorry, click the plus.
Oh, 2.
Click the plus. Now you can add your officials all the way down. But
That's-
we're gonna
that's-
fix that. I've got a note.
Yeah, way too complicated. That's not what you're gonna have to do. Just if you need to get a message out right this second and you can't see it, yes, you can use that. But if you're in this room or you're online and something's not working about your envelope, let us know about that in support. That's a DragonFly problem.
And
Period.
I've got it in the notes that we'll put together.
Great time for me to reiterate what I said in the beginning. It won't be the last time you run into a bug in software. Just period. End of discussion. It will not be the last time you hit something. Do not suffer in silence is all I can say. Raise your hand, let us know in support, email one of us, let Keaton know so he can relay it. If you've got something that's supposed to be working and it's not, let us know. We can't fix it if we don't know about it. And you said you said you sent you already used it to mass. Oh, you said you selected
I
everything.
selected
Yeah,
everybody in
don't-
the association.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, that's why I just asked him, I said,
Yeah.
you don't need me to send out 127 individual emails.
If you prefer to do that,
No.
I won't tell you what not to do. Let me give you the option though to do it.
Trying to work around this.
Yeah,
That's
no, I understood.
I did a lot of these things on my own and figured that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff that you wouldn't let us break.
Yeah.
and we couldn't have-
Well, I mean, in general, you can't do anything that we can't undo in the software. So don't be scared to play around and click buttons because you only have the permissions inside your local association anyway. Now, I will say if you do something that gets you in trouble with the OHSAA, like, well, we can't fix that. So, yeah,
Yeah.
don't blast a particular official in a group message or something like that. But for the software side of things, you can't really mess anything up that we can't fix.
Now, if we want to get a hold of you, do we send you an email to DragonFly now, or do we still go to my own to do it?
What do you mean?
Like, if I just want to send you an email if I got a question about something, do I just go on to DragonFly to send you an email, or do I have to go to OHSA to send you?
Send me an email.
Just send me an email. I'm a little confused on what you mean.
Well,
K Jones at OHSA.
Yeah,
okay.
I have a bunch of cards upstairs if you need.
Yeah.
them.
So again, so everybody at home can hear it. Question was, if anybody in this room or online needs to contact Keaton, how do they get to Keaton? Just send him an email at kjones@ohsaa.org. Make it very important though, he charges $5 an email. So. Yes. All right. I'm now going to move into how will you mark your meeting attendance? Go ahead.
That the email, you don't have a send folder. So if you want a copy of it,
Yeah.
there's a box in there that says, please send me a
Yeah.
copy. Make sure that box is checked. So you have a copy of what you sent.
Yeah, so again, for those at home that maybe, couldn't hear Jeff there, if you want to receive, like, there's not this is not Gmail. This is a way to send a message in our software. If you want to receive the message that you're sending out to all of your officials, you can copy yourself. If you want them to be able to reply back to you, again, you've got the option. So, because again, it just depends. Like when Keaton sends something out to 15,000 officials, he typically does not want each of them coming back with their own response. If you do want them responding back, you have the ability to say, hey, I want them to be able to email and respond back directly to me. It goes to your personal email inbox.
If you're listed as an official, it'll still automatically send it to you.
I don't know without testing it. You can test it right now for yourself if you want to.
I don't fit all.
I always put a copy myself.
Because I might just pick it up.
And then let other people go that want to. The big thing that we're bringing is being able to upload the. All right, I'm gonna say one more question and I'll let everybody know. So Keaton has asked that I move into do the meeting attendance, do the local dues, and then how do I put a meeting on the calendar for those of you that came just for those things, and then you can leave and we'll continue to stay here and ask questions as long as we need to.
You send out an SMS through Drew. There's a way to stop reply all. Come first in.
And the checkbox that
Yeah, so
says being able to reply, you can uncheck that and then nobody can.
When you send it out, if you want to copy yourself, check the box. If you want to, now, so by default, we have it set so that you don't receive any replies. And that's, again, because, Jeff, when he was working at the HSAA, he's sending out a message to 10,000 people. He can send it out to 15,000. Yes. Yeah.
It goes to that one person and they don't see.
Again, for everybody at home, if you are having roster upload issues or anything like that, please email Brandon, Eamon, and Jeff. Their emails are pinned in the chat. Thanks.
All right. We're gonna make sure everybody gets their questions answered tonight. But again, for those of you that have already been in, you've been playing with it, and you're bored to tears with listening to me talk, I'm gonna move through marking your meeting attendance, marking and/or collecting your dues, and then putting your local meetings on the calendar for your officials. I am back into the Midwest. So again, I'm in organizations and people. You guys will see many check boxes here in your rosters. Some of you may not see the same thing. Again, I've got different permissions for different organizations. What I need you to hear from this, you're going to see things in gray that means you have view only access. So for example, Keaton, Amanda, Charles, Bo, they're going to be able to have to do things at the state level that you need to be able to see so you can help your officials with eligibility and things like that. You can say, here's what you're missing. But if the column is in gray, that means it's view only for you. If it is in blue, that means you've got actionable edit access to do that. And for example, in this one, this is the local association dues. So we'll start there. You got two choices here. You can leave it just the way we've got it set up for everyone today. And so when Ryan Bellman pays his dues to the Midwest Buckeye Football Officials Association, we can check that and hit, we certify that those dues have been paid. We uncertify that now. If you would prefer to collect it online, by the way, a shameless plug for DragonFly, that's how we make our money and revenue, is that transaction cost. We can set you up so all of your dues can be paid so that when each of these officials go through and pay it as a part of their registration with you, it automatically checks it off, and then you'll just transfer your money off, into your bank account for whatever your association is. Let me go back over that. You have two options here. By default, every single one of you is set up to just go and check a box when your officials pay it. So you go to the local dues column and you check it, certify that they've paid their dues, and that'll be checked off. I'm sorry, what's that?
I don't see dues on there.
Are you-
It says local, you see local, it says local registration, and it says certified, not certified. Hold your mouse over it.
Yeah, you can click and drag the column headers if you need to. So you can hover over it like they said, or you can click and drag the column headers to make it larger. What is it?
Go ahead. Okay, we'll, if you don't have that column, again, we have set up all these things up manually. It is very likely if you don't have it that we somehow missed it, skipped over. No worries. Let us know that so we can fix it. Again, I'll reiterate Keaton's message. Email Brandon or Jeff or Eamon at dragonflyathletics.com. To recap what I said just a second ago, you're going to be able to see the registration status for your officials. The columns that you can help them with but not do anything with will be in gray. The columns that you can take action on will be in blue. For example, this is local association dues. You can hover over it and see that, or if you go to the edge of it, just like Excel, if you guys are familiar with Excel, where you can click and drag those column headers to expand them out. If you just want to mark when you've collected those dues, you should already be set up for it. Click, mark it certified. If you want to actually collect the dues through the platform, so this automatically checks off, and then you just, again, you pull your money off whenever you're ready for your local association, let us know and we'll help you set that up. OHSAA asked that we do it this way as everyone's getting used to it this year. Completely understand. Let's not bite off more than we can chew in year one.
So I'm sorry, you said as of this year, though, you mean the OHSAA is eventually gonna have all of us just do the
Nope.
platform to deposit?
Nope.
Okay, good.
No.
If we decide.
If you do decide to do that, you have the option. Yeah. So let me clarify. OHSAA is not going to force you to do anything with money in this platform.
If you want to do it this year, you can. Yeah, let us know and we'll help you set it up. So if you want to, yes, you can. If you don't, no one's forcing it.
When I simply bring up fee, like there'd be like a 12%.
Yep. Just like when you swipe your credit card, there's always a credit card fee, transaction fee.
What would that fee be?
It is 3.5% plus 30 cents on the credit card swipe, and then we take $2. I don't know what your local dues are, so I can't tell you exactly what that comes out to. But
Say like your dues were like this $10.
it's 15.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just make it 20, even number.
yeah, I can't do that math. in my head, so 3.5% of $20 plus 30 cents then goes to our credit card processor, and it's a flat $2 that comes to us.
It's about $3. Wrestling coach.
Yeah. So to repeat that, OHSAA is not forcing you to do anything. If you don't want to touch any money or anything like that on our platform, I want to know why, but you don't have to. If you just want to check off the box, move on, and don't worry about any of the transaction fees or anything like that. If you want to do it through the platform, so your officials do that as a part of their registration, let us know. We'll set that up for you.
Wouldn't that be?
Yes, sir.
Pays that.
You get to decide if you want to come out of the association's portion or if you want to pass that along and have the official pay that. That's an optional. So the question again at home, if you end up wanting to collect those fees through DragonFly, you can either have the association eat those transaction costs, or you can pass those along to each of your officials when they pay.
And again, this is just optional.
Yep.
You guys are not being forced to accept payment in DragonFly. This
Yep.
is just an option. If you guys want it all in the same system.
But what it does do is it gives you an option to accept credit cards without paying Square or some other thing. They do the clearinghouse part for you, and then you can have it deposited directly into your thing now. My question is, as the administrator, and I'm collecting money, you're not putting that on my 1099, right?
No. Yeah, so the question there was if you're an administrator, that's going into a business account, you'll put all that stuff in there. Again, if you decide to use that, Keaton, I probably typed that into the chat that no one's being asked to do this. If you want to do that, you can. We will set it up for you. It will not go on your personal 1099. I'm assuming you got an LLC or something set up for your local officials association. If you don't, I'm not a tax expert, so it doesn't matter. Well,
I just know personally.
column to the right, I think it says local association. What's that? Say football?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what do the check marks represent or non-check marks represent?
So if you hover over, that's the football registration fee. Again, if you're having trouble here, you can click and expand any of those columns so you can read the full thing. But this is for this particular official, Ryan Bellman. That's letting you know that Ryan Bellman has paid his officiating fee to the OHSAA for this year.
But some of these haven't paid.
Correct.
Yep.
So an easy way to see, most times, like you'll see Mark Cisco there, his checkbox for football official dues hasn't been checked. His name is red, so he's not ready. And everybody else, you can see their football official registration fee has been checked. Their name is black. They are renewed. They're ready to go for 24-25.
And you can see that basically for, again, we're in, let me go to the football officiating. So your officials are going to come to you, or you're going to have to go to your officials. You can see who's eligible and who is not. Right here by who's in red and who's in black. If they're in red, that lets you know, well, they're missing something. You can help them with that even if you can't do it for them. Just like the fees that we just talked about, when you record your local association meeting attendance, you got check boxes for your local association. Click on that, certify the attendance, and just like the local dues. So for meeting 1, meeting 2, meeting 3, meeting 4, find the official's name, click on the box, certify it whether they've attended or not. Yes.
There a way to also play?
Yeah. There is, and I'm not going to go into that tonight because it is an involved process, and we've talked, Keaton. This is the way we decided to do it.
We just put a QR code up on the screen and everybody filled it out.
So
I do meeting attendance.
that's what we're working on right now to provide to each of you. But because we didn't have it to present tonight, we don't want to complicate what we're talking about tonight. Just know that there's a better process coming that we didn't have time to get done before this meeting.
Just that your members, how do you do it with visit meetings?
I'm sorry. They'll have to be a member of your organization to give meeting attendance for your.
They're visitors.
But are they local to another association?
Yes.
So then what you would do is send those names to their association. Hey, these people are here.
They're going to come and attend their association. I don't know.
But see, they wouldn't have access to enter in a meeting for our association. So that poses a problem. Because
Actually, I take that back.
Yeah.
We've got these set up to be across the state. Now, so Keaton, you walked out during so
big question.
they've got guest visitors
to a local.
coming into they're asking how they're going to mark meeting attendance. Right now, we've got it set up so that, they're not going to be visible in the local association.
For right now, a kind of stopgap, I'll volunteer. Just email me if you have a guest, and then I can go in and we can all just mark one check box.
We show us how you do that. Remember, we don't see about visitors.
Yeah. You got a column in your roster that says local association meeting, just like you did for the dues.
What kind of work?
Check it. Do you have it set for a sport? Or do you have all sports?
Meeting in a calendar.
Because those are sport specific, so we got it set for all sports.
Check box.
Have you had everything else so far?
Yeah. Like if we're gonna mark people.
When I go to sports, it says.
School systems.
All sports.
Yeah. And the calendar that's in here, on that date, it says that it's the first box, for example. Envelope people. The question was, it's not live, obviously.
Correct.
Are we tied to having that meeting in that calendar under that association? Nobody.
No, these are your 4 requirements on OHSAA. Across. You have that.
So you have the.
Click the check box. They're not, we haven't turned those live yet. Again. Yeah, so let me.
That makes sense.
Yeah, the local meetings are not turned on yet. That's how you will record them. So for those at home, you will see this column. You should see this column. You can't check it. Okay. I'll check.
For our association, will there be 7 different columns where we could mark it to?
You can.
Just because it's a requirement of school.
So the question, let me tell the people online, the question is, what if we have 7 meetings, there's only 4? We've set this up for you to be able to mark for each of your members of your officials, there are 4 required state meetings. If you want to use this to track all of your meetings, let us know. We can add more columns for you. What we're doing right now is the minimum so that you can record your OHSAA required attendance. If you need more, we can work with you on that.
Okay, I want to go back to a question that was answered about or asked about the guests, visitors. I host a state meeting. I'll have 250 people. 100 will be in my association, 150 will be guests. In the past, I gave them credit for the local meeting. So what are you saying I'm going to do? Because we're 2 weeks out from that.
So for everybody in your association, obviously you can go and add the local meetings. For everybody that's not, you'll just have to send them to us. You'll have to keep track or what.
So what we can mark it for you, and you and I can go separately. That was a curveball for me. That didn't get this company. Yeah, let's work on another solution.
A database of guests will have to be sent together.
Excel.
Yes, sir.
So, for each meeting, is there just going to be boxes, or is there going to be days that are meetings?
No, these are strictly for you to record meetings 1, 2, 3, and 4 as an OHSAA requires. Now, again, I'm going to answer this as succinctly as possible. This is not the final solution. This is what we can have in place for July 9th. Again, later in the fall, the QR code that was mentioned earlier. That's where we're going with this. Send out an invitation, scan the QR code, automatically, and that's when I walk through the thing. That will handle the guests, that will handle the members, because it's going to be tied to a checkbox that will automatically check off. We didn't have time to get that done for July 9th. So for today, you're going to see the 4 OHSAA requirements and checkboxes to record just the 4 required meetings.
I just want to ask, but you're talking about this QR code for the future.
Yep.
Does that mean I'm gonna have to get a laptop to do this as the secretary? I've only got 10 or 12 people to do it. I just have when I go home, I do it all.
QR code works for the people that would be attending conversation.
It puts all my.
Local association meetings, we go to state meeting, that end up being on here.
Yes. Yeah, you do not yet see the state clinic because it's not live yet. And that goes live on the 15th, 14th, 18th, 19th. When the state meeting goes live and we get the word from the OHSAA staff, you'll also see that column slide in. Question there was, when the state meeting goes live, will we see that also? Yes. It'll mark off, because that's an online meeting, so when your official to go ahead and click that button, it'll automatically check off when they finish that.
So what about, because they usually have online meetings?
Yes.
Will that automatically check off?
Yes.
One of the rules things?
Yeah, anything that's a state level requirement, we're going to add and it will slide in when we set it live. But when it is set live, you will be able to see which of your officials have done it, which ones haven't. Yeah. So you'll see it.
We'll see it just.
Correct. You as admins of your locals will see who has done the state requirements and who hasn't. You won't have any responsibility for marking it. You'll only mark the attendance for the 4 local required meetings. And if you don't have 4, if you only hold 2 of them, you only mark for the official that showed up for your 2 locals.
And for everybody that needs, my email, send the guest attendance, my card. I'm gonna be sitting right here with my email. Yeah, it's got my email on it.
What you send it to, it's always. Somebody send it to me now.
Just for clarification.
Yes, sir.
More local meetings boxes, let us know.
Myself, Eamon, Jeff, our support team in that chat box can add it for you. Just let somebody at DragonFly know. You can do that.
With that being said, and I guess it's more towards Keith, if everybody doesn't have the ability to see that they're getting what they would look at as credit for those extra meetings they're at, they're not gonna attend them. So if they're not seeing, I understand that's for the state, but if they're not, like on my ocean, for example, you see if you see your minimum, but you also see how many you went to. You know, if you're attended 7.
We can add as many columns.
I think it's like a lot. I mean, I just think
100 optional.
Yeah, but like Brandon, so we have those 4 required, excuse me. Thank you. So we have those 4 meeting attendance columns in there right now. Those are the 4 requirements. We can go, DragonFly can go in there and add 100 optional local meeting attendance, columns if you guys would like. Hearing you guys, I'm pretty sure that's what we're gonna end up doing, at least add 5, 6, 7 columns there.
you at least need one for however many meetings that we have set.
I think, which is fine. If, I think a sweet number could be 10, because people are gonna be moving around, clinics, in-person state meetings that also count for a local meeting. You're gonna be doing some stuff. So you're gonna have your 4 solidified columns. Okay, and that counts, those first 4 columns are gonna count as, those are your required meeting attendance credits. Okay, and then there's gonna be 6 optional ones where somebody wants to attend 10, they'll get shown and marked and get credit. Okay.
So you may not, so for the question I answered for you on how do we get those extras, sounds like we're just gonna add those. I think he just made that decision where we're gonna give you 4 required, 6 additional optional for each local.
Good.
He had his hand up first.
In track and field, cross country, we've got 2 distinct seasons where, again, for tournament eligibility, you have to work 1 for cross country, 4 for track and field. So, I mean, we've got a little bit of a different situation that would need to be addressed upfront for required meetings for tournaments. And then you have your requirements just for your license.
Okay, so we can label those separately, mark them, as required or optional. In general, because we have per sport requirements, you're gonna have, track, you'll have cross country. When you look at track, it'll have whatever you need for track listed in these boxes. When we switch to cross country, it'll have the one that's required for cross country. Is that making sense? Because so we'll go ahead and put in for cross country, here's the required for tournament meeting column. One side, the track, we're gonna have, here's the 4 required. So we'll make those per sport requirements show up, and then you'll just be able to see, all right, let me look in the fall at cross country, let me look in the spring at track. And you'll select your sport in the drop down box.
This is just my opinion on, I think we need multiple for your stage meetings also, because you'll have guys that will watch it online and then still go to a physical meeting.
We've already got that part worked out, so we're gonna have an online, the web, basically version that they'll watch, and then a check box for the state.
So in person, see both.
Yes. Yeah, for those at home, just a point of clarification, for the state level meetings, not for the locals, we are gonna have the 2 separate check boxes, one for your online meeting. That will check off once you and your officials actually watch and complete the state rules meeting, and then you'll have another checkbox for your in-person state meeting. So those will both be there.
for the sake of time, I'm gonna ask Brandon to go into how you guys are going to be able to upload the actual meetings onto the calendar for your association members to see.
Okay. So for the first time, I think in this meeting, we're navigating away from the organizations and people tab. So most of you will spend most of your time on organizations and people. As we move to put something on the calendar, you'll click on the calendar button on the left-hand side. Going to pull up an item that looks like this. So you're going to want to put all of your locals on here. Now, how this works is, and actually talking with Keaton, we might need to do something else for the state level meetings if we want to put those on there, because you can put them on for the entire state. So for those listening at home, we can put state level meetings on the calendar at the state level, but you're going to want to hit schedule something in the top right-hand corner. Give it a name. Give it a date, and whenever date and time, whenever you're going to have it. Now, the one thing you'll want to do is by default, you're adding to your personal calendar. If you don't select which of your organizations or which of your teams, ignore, again, this is for athletic director stuff, test school. But for Midwest Buckeye Football Officials Association, if I don't switch from personal to that Midwest local association calendar, then it's going to add it to my personal calendar. You're going to be the only one that can see it, and all of your officials are going to ask why they can't see the meetings on their calendar. Switch this from personal to your local association or associations. Again, I know many of you are an admin in more than one. Select a local association you want to add this event for. This will be our if I can type. Yes, you can put it on. You can select multiple calendars if needed. Local association meeting, select the date, time of that meeting, and then add it to the schedule.
You go back.
I can.
A little.
We're in calendar. Schedule something. Give it a name, date, time. Again, you got some other calendar options here if you want to repeat it at different intervals, but make sure you.
I thought I'd seen something that had. Oh, right there.
Yeah.
There. Oh,
You don't have to do that. Again, there's features here for the state, for the schools, for the sign of each.
Location in that box down below.
Yeah, if you can put anything you want to in that, and when they view it on their side, when they pull it up on the calendar, whatever notes you put in there will be visible to your officials.
When people want to look up, that's not our association, want to look up to see where our meetings are.
That's what we were talking about from the state side. We're gonna have to find a way to copy these over to a statewide calendar as well. And
So that's not what we type in there, the address.
you
Want to. That's something, as secretaries, we need to make sure that we, in that box below, type where it's at. If there's any special requirements, like you need to bring a whistle or equipment because it's a scrimmage or something like that. Anything that we want to have, we need to make sure that it's in there, because if it's not, they're just gonna see that this association has a meeting on this day.
Yeah, they won't know where it is. Yeah.
They won't have any idea, so we have to make sure as secretaries that we add all that information in there for each meeting we add. So this here, I would find it. So. And then if I click on the stuff here, it doesn't see.
So I just want to clarify.
Yeah.
You guys are going to look for a way or come up with a way for, like, if I wanted to attend another local, I can go and find a local in the whole state.
So if you guys have not figured this out yet, Keaton has likely told me this. It was a curveball for me tonight on the guest attendance stuff. So quite frankly, I just don't know yet. We will find a solution and we will communicate it out to you. I'm certain that Keaton told me and I missed it, but it's something we got to figure out.
So when the fact that we offer our local meetings to other members outside of our associations, who do we need to get a hold of to have, we need to get a hold of that? So every meeting we have, we need to contact you.
With the list of your guest members, so that I can go in and give them credit.
Well, what I'm saying though is when we go to post our meetings on the calendar, So other association members are not going to be able to see that, so they put it under our local association. So do we need to contact you, Keaton, and let you put that on Ohio High School's website, on their calendar?
That's, don't have an answer, because again, that was something new. This is not on Keith, this is on me. So I don't know. What I can tell you is if
What
you.
I'm trying to figure out for this fall, so.
How do we ask for this for local meetings?
So as we post our local meetings, I know this is something new on DragonFly we have. But in order for us to offer this to other association members, I know it can't be on you until you can try to figure that out, actually update your website on that. So currently, right now, we have our dates, we can sit there and input it tomorrow. In order for the other association members to be able to view this, Ohio High School is able to add that to their calendar for our local association meetings. So obviously, we would have to contact Kiva to actually add that on there for our local association meeting for that county. So
That is not, just quite frankly, I'm not gonna ask Keaton to do that, because I missed it, that's gonna be on us, but I will work with Keaton to provide you guys with a way to get him that information, and DragonFly will get it on the statewide counts. Now, however else you wanna advertise it, you can, but what we'll do is you can put your locals on your local calendar. We'll make sure that everybody's meetings get on a statewide calendar to every official.
And so the thing I said about putting that information below, it doesn't show up in the calendar. So you need to add it in so where the notification is. I got it on the timer.
Okay.
And see this. In that case, we'll talk about it. So here's
Let me repeat. So for those listening in at home, I will work with Keaton on how to get all of your locals advertised to everybody else, every official in the state. Just start shouting each other. Hey, guys. Hey, if you're done and ready to get out of here, check with OHSAA, make sure that they don't need anything else from you, that you can take off. We're here. I'm spending the night here, so I can stay as long as I need to. If you want to come forward and ask questions, you can.
I want to switch leaders from secretary to official. Okay. The big thing that our officials need from you are calendar integration.
Yep.
Being able to populate our game schedules to iCal.
Yeah, they open their conversation.
Can you tell us when that's coming?
I don't have a date, so no, I can't. I can make something up, and it would be a lot.
That is, from an official perspective, really.
Yeah.
Especially for sports like baseball, where we get rainouts and reschedules.
Yeah.
That's moving around all the time.
Understood. It's not being ignored. I will say that we've got to get coaches in now that have requests, athletic directors have requests, signers have requests, officials have requests, secretaries have requests, the OHSAA had, so we're trying to navigate that as best we can. Not being ignored, I promise.
Since they have us, we have on the same night, baseball meeting and a softball meeting. I haven't played with this yet, but it'll let me do 2 meetings.
Yes, sir.
On the same day.
Same day, same time. Yes, sir.
And when I go to put them in my meeting, I see it's on the calendar. What? See that.
Yeah. So the question that was asked on, hey, once I put them in here and I select my local association, your officials will also go to the calendar to see all of the meetings that you put in. So that's, yes, Well, we talk about their state, they can also.
That's all I'm covering on the required stuff. We're gonna hang out. Now, if everybody's about to walk out of here, if I can have your attention for 5 more seconds. This is a work in progress. Start in where we started. Give us the feedback, just like on the official thing. We know that, we gotta get to it, but hey, give us how we can improve. Appreciate your time. Yeah, thank you.
Like on you, I know it showed up my schedule, but we be able to, when once we accepted it,
There's
go like for a push ballot. It doesn't do that.
That's what he was talking about on the calendar invitation.
Okay, sorry, I didn't.
That's okay. Will you get back tomorrow? Okay.
It was just a learning process.
Take care of the
So we didn't talk to you about
So,